800 grit, it's about right. Hey, you guys are always sneaking up on me. Yeah, you're right. Scuffing up my brand new paint with a Scotch-Brite pad. I'll explain that a little bit later in the video, and you'll understand. It's very necessary. Yep, I'm doing right here too. Have you guessed why yet? If you think you know the answer, put it down in the comments there. We'll all decide when we're done. Otherwise, just keep watching. I'm going to explain myself, I promise. Man, stuff. Rust mort worked great, except for the springs I put in there are gone now. Like, gone. What am I going to do? This thing, can't put that in there. Oh, hey guys. Thanks for coming by and hang out again. This little video is about hardware, bolts and hardware, right? I know, a little boring, but I got some tricks for you. You ain't going to want to miss it. You guys might have overheard me talk to myself. I do a lot of that. This is our hood latch, secondary latch thingy for the hood, right? Well, there's a couple pins and a washer and one like a tube bushing thing. Well, there's supposed to be a spring that keeps this thing engaged, right? And you grab it with your finger, pull it back. Well, I put that spring in rust mort because it's kind of colored. Well, there's the rust mort. Where's the other stuff at? I'll find the right stuff and I'm going to show you. I thought it was the other stuff, and left it in there for a couple weeks, so that's fine. Well, I opened it up and go, oh no springs. The springs are gone. They ate up. So they ain't got no rust left on it, but I don't have much else. You know, we got a parts hood. Didn't have one of those on the good hood, so I took it off and look at it. Pretty rough. Let me find the correct stuff and I'll show you what I'm going to do. I found it. Vapo rust. We've figured out in previous videos the rust mort works great on sheet metal. Not so good on bolts because it kind of, you know, there's a black goo to it and you got to wire brush it off anyway. So we're just gonna redo this. Okay, I got a bolt. This is all the nuts and bolts that I have for this MGA. How much I use, I don't know, but I do know there's a lot of little funny ones in here, like the door hinge screws, right? Fine thread, standard fine thread, pointy on the end. You know, this is stuff that you can buy, nickel and dime yourself to death over on a website or something. You can't go to Lowe's and buy a lot of this stuff. It's not going to be just right. I know, it's not a show car, but I have a better part of a gallon of the good old Vapo rust, and we're going to soak her down. There's a Vapo rust, you can reuse it. You run it through a coffee filter, get the dirt out or whatever, if you want. I probably won't. About 50 bucks a gallon. We're gonna shake her up. I'm gonna cover it up. Let it sit till tomorrow, shake her up again. It's like a washing machine, you need some agitation. All right. Day 2, not even gonna look at them. Golly. A lot of bolts. Maybe the old old Cadillac out for a little bit. Boy, it's a windy day. This thing's not very aerodynamically inclined. Back from our little Cadillac cruise and get back out here and work on this MGA. I've got the taps out again. Apparently that's my favorite one because it's got a socket welded on it. Fine threads, coarser threads, smaller, coarser, and finer threads, you know. We're gonna go through a bunch of holes, clean them all up. I'm gonna show you why. So all these bolt holes that have threads in them now have paint in them. You don't want no paint. We gotta make it as easy on the old guy here, right? So we're just gonna go through every single hole that got painted, or the ones I think I need to that didn't get painted. Get them all cleaned up. I'm probably gonna quicken this process by finding an electric tool. Got all our bolt holes all cleaned up. Windshield brackets for the door hinges, all the door hardware and such, all the way around the car. And the fenders. I think I missed one. Yep, I missed one right there. Now, bolts. Now you saw me dump them down in there. And the good stuff, this stuff is about the best way to go for bolts and small parts. You know. I mean, things like this. It's killed the rust. All you're seeing is that's black stuff, right? This thing was caked, frozen solid. Now it does the thing. So I'm gonna throw it back in there for a while. We don't need it. We'll let it soak. All the fender bolts and nuts, I gotta dig some more. I sprayed everything with carburetor cleaner, brake cleaner, just to dry it out. And I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do next. Yep. Do you know why I scuffed inside there now? If you look real close, see a bolt, another bolt, another bolt. Of course, there's fender packing. It's on the tip of my tongue. Whatever, it goes in there. What I want to do is when I paint this car, I want paint down in there. I want it to blow in there a little bit, right? So we have a nice solid edge of paint going around the corner instead of just a tape line, right? That way it doesn't want to start peeling right here. It's gone down inside there. It's going to stick to where I scuffed it up. The bolts, I don't want paint on my bolts. I don't want paint in the bolt holes. So put a bolt in it, a little bit of masking tape, crush it on in there. And I'm going to leave this gap. It'll be solid enough that I can block sand it. What body panels line up? Well, they lined up as good as they did when I had it together the first time, so why does it matter? Just got to do 3 more fenders, 2 doors, a trunk lid, and a bonnet. Look at that sunset. I live in a beautiful place, boys and girls. All the fenders are on. I think now I'm going to go ahead and, since the hood and the trunk lid are closest to me, go ahead and tap out, clean out the holes on those, find some bolts and get them put on. There's a trick to putting these on, and it's actually pretty easy. I'm going to show you. I'm going to make use of that hole and that hole. Oops. It latched. Yep. Looks pretty good. Here's my door hinge drill bit trick. See the drill bits? Now this door should be pretty close. It's not going to be perfect. It's all going to take adjusting before we're done. So now we're going to block sand everything, get all the body panels prepped for paint, fix all our stuff. We have pinholes and everything I've got to get cleaned up. Yeah, I'll lube these door hinges after the car's painted. I just don't want to do it right now. You know, let's get this thing cleaned up. It's just got dust and grime handling everything. Before I sand or do anything, I want to clean it. Sporty little car, huh? We don't want to sand in this dirt and grime and just general crapola that's laying on the car. Get her wiped down. Windex. How's this thing work? Oh, off, on. It's the ammonia that does it. Cleans. So yeah, we'll do this little video on building a DIY paint booth. And try to do as clean of a job as possible. The car's not going to be perfect. It'll be nice. It's already nicer than it was. You have to agree with that. I have to figure out what bolts I'm going to put in the bottom of these fenders on the pinch weld there. The hood's all jacked up because the hole isn't square, or the hole in the body is not shaped like the hood. Does that make sense? I'll show you that here in just a few. Right there. Not only that, of course it fits pretty decent. Remember, this section was replaced. Fits pretty decent around here, both sides. I could live with it. Well, what about that? This might be hard for you to see, but it's big here, little there. I don't know. Probably have to live with it. I'm not sure. But this being so low, I imagine that the hinge is probably bent or something funny. So I'm gonna have to make a shim, get it raised up, you know, that much. But anyway, get it leveled off a little bit better. It's probably not gonna be a huge deal. I just have to think about how I wanna fix it. I don't know, can you see them right there? Pinholes. There's pinholes in the Bondo. Now if I go blocking this out and I forget about them, they'll fill up with dust and then I'll never see it until we paint it, and then you'll see pinholes. So I've got to fix these, look the car over real good. I'm going to fix those before I even start anything. All right. All right. It's a little bit of finishing putty, and all I'm going to do. See, now you can really see them, can't you? put it in the holes, scrape it off flush. Because when we block this primer down, it will blend right in. It's guide coat time. It's guide coat time. Guide coat time. It didn't have to be rusted, it'd be just cheap. Cheapest thing you can find. I couldn't find the cheapest thing I could find. This is the cheapest thing I could find. Give this old car a rat rod paint job. I'm just gonna brist it on there. Tells me where I have and haven't sanded. All my low spots are going to be right there. You'll be able to see them. Well, there you go, Ralph. Your paint job's done. Well, we're gonna let this dry. Next week we'll get into a little bit of sandy. Get on down the road, get this thing painted. Hey, thanks guys for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed. Tell your friends, tell your mom. It's Mother's Day. Call your mom. If she's not around anymore, I'm sorry. But think about her. She's still always with you. Junk out.